everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Cities Skylines. I certainly hope you're having a fantastic day whenever and wherever you happen to be, because I'm excited. I am excited to be back in the beautiful city of Dorkchester, where things are going pretty well indeed. That last episode might have been an hour long, that might have not been intentional, and I forgot to put it in the video. I'm pretty sure it was obvious, but I forgot to put it in text that it was recorded in the live stream. I meant to cut it in half, but I got into the edit and realized that I spent half an hour building a highway, and that half hour would have been its own episode. I just didn't think it would have been a very good episode on its own, so an hour-long episode here and there, I guess, doesn't hurt. This episode right here is not being recorded on the live stream, but just to remind you that every Monday and every Wednesday, I do stream City Skylines. I do stream Dorkchester over on mixer.com/ConflictNerd, where we recently got partnered, which is kind of a big deal. I'm really happy about it. It's entirely thanks to all of you that tune in, so thank you very much for that if you are one of the live stream viewers. But that's enough about the live stream. I know it's a bit of a taboo subject around the channel from time to time. Let's talk about Dorkchester. What are we doing today? Well, today I want to show you what I have done since that last episode. Nothing too major. I have just gone ahead and filled out a little bit more of this space, got a few more parking lots. I've gone ahead and basically just put in some fences, some trees, tried to make this place just look a little bit more built up, and I have seen a few people saying, why so many parking lots? Basically, airports, a lot of people go through airports, basically, and I think it's an easy way to fill up space, so that's why so many parking lots. I am thinking I do want to go in and get some buildings along here, and I want to get some buildings along here as well, just to try and fill up a little bit more of the space. We can maybe do some trees and stuff in these areas or something like that. I might try and change the way the monorail goes. I'm not too sure at the minute, because I would like to fill up some of that space, but we will see is what we will do. If we go to this side a little bit, I have gone ahead and I have put in some emergency services. They have their own little road there, which I think is kind of cool. The fire department doesn't use it. Is that a helicopter? There's a helicopter right there. Hello. What are you doing? You are returning to depot. Fair enough. That's another thing we have. We have some helipads over here. I used the prop it up mod to actually remove some of the trees that are on these buildings. So I can't, for some reason, get rid of those ones in there, but that's fine. This is probably temporary anyway, having the helipads out here. I like the idea of putting them out on this sort of outcropping of land here. So once we get that tile, once we get all of the tiles, I guess, we'll move the helipads out that way. But until then, they can live exactly where they are, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I'm also thinking that, to be totally honest, I'm going to go in here and go to some offices along that bit, just because I can, and because I feel like there's a lot of weird sort of empty space around here that I'd like to fill up. Gonna do the same here as well. And we probably do want to say that there is going to be a high-rise ban on this area. So we'll go in and say that it's going to have a high-rise ban, and we're going to say it is boost connections. Outside connections in the area can handle more vehicles carrying tourists, increasing the amount of visitors in the city. Outside connection traffic capacity is increased by 20%, applies to boats, planes, trains, and private cars. Costs 10,000 per week. I don't think we can afford that, especially with what I've got planned for today's episode. So moving away from the airport a little bit, I have filled in a little bit of space here and there, and I've made a couple of changes to the highway that we did recently build. I decided to go in and add a little on-ramp right here, because we once had a lot of industrial traffic coming out of this cargo train terminal. If my timing's good, we might see a cargo train come along here. There it is. And as a result, a lot of cargo traffic coming out of the terminal. And you'll notice most of it actually goes ahead and just gets onto the highway, which is fantastic news. And if I go ahead and have a little bit of a look here, we can go to the traffic routes. We can click on U. And what it actually does is it goes down this way and then into the city over there. Now, what that tells me is that we need a cargo train station over in this industrial area. And that is something I do want to try and tackle today, because that's a long way for that traffic to be going right there. That's crazy distance. So we're going to want to try and fix that a little bit. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because it ties into another change that I've made, which is this little bit of highway right here, which looks, I think, considerably better than it did previously. Still got some Spaghetti Junction vibes, but I kind of like it. So it kind of does the job, and it's going to stay that way for a little while. Now, for today, what I'd like to do today is quite a major thing, and it's going to, well, honestly, it's going to change Dorkchester forever, because I want to go into this area right here, and I want to tear it apart. I want to rebuild it. So that means I want to go in and take Aspen Park out of here. I want to take this monorail station out of here. I want to take all of this zoning out of here, all the schools, all the buildings, all the roads, everything. And I want to rebuild it because I just want it to feel more like everything's connected. Right now, it's very noticeably two big different areas. And I could, if I wanted to, obviously go ahead and just build in these empty spaces, but I don't think it would look right. You know, so I want it to feel a little bit more, I don't know, like it's all one city. And I want to use this road here as the main one that goes down the middle of everything. So we're going to do that as well. But before we do that, let's have a look at the new train station, because it's, you know, another thing that I did. I've also just noticed these buildings popping up behind it. They're actually kind of cool looking next to this very modern train station. This is something that we didn't necessarily need, but it's something that I think just looks cool to have in the middle of everything. And it also let me play around with the old sort of double bridge thing there, which I think looks kind of cool as well. So we've got that going for us, but that does tie into, again, something I want to do today, which is get ourselves a cargo train station. So let's have a little bit of fun here. What I'm thinking we'll do is we'll go in. We're going to get ourselves one of these roads right here. I don't really like that these have trees down the middle of them, but it's not really the end of the world. We're going to have it go down like that. We're going to go into a, I want to say one of these roads here. Maybe not, actually. We'll do a one-way road instead. So we're going to go 10, we're going to go 4, we're going to go 20, 4, and 10. And then on that road, which admittedly I'm going to have to level everything a little bit. On that road, though, we're going to do a cargo train terminal. So it's in its own space. It's right by all this industry. It's got decent connections to this main avenue, and I imagine it's going to be pretty busy. But essentially what I want to do is connect that over to this train line here, and I mean, where does the train line happen to go? It goes through here, it goes down that way. So we don't actually have trains on this side of the map, which is fair enough. So this is going to be a little bit tricky, but I'll figure it out. Let's just go ahead and get ourselves some train lines in here. And while we do this, and while I figure out the tediousness that's about to be seen here, I guess we could talk about a very special birthday that came up recently. A certain video game that I think we all happen to know and love recently turned 5 years old, which is kind of crazy to think about. Cities Skylines came out 5 years ago on the, I want to say, the 10th of March. So March 10th, 2015 is, I believe, when Cities Skylines came out. If I'm getting that date wrong, then it's kind of awkward, but I find that really hard to believe. And I don't mean that in like a, you know, fake news. It's 5 years ago. That's so strange to me, because Cities Skylines is a game that has contributed to some massive changes in my life. And on top of that, it's one of the first sort of big games that I ever got a code for as a result of my YouTube work. So I don't think it's a secret or anything like that. I think everyone kind of knows. YouTubers, by virtue of the job, we do get free games from time to time. Not every game. We don't get everything free, but we do get free games from time to time. And Paradox has, throughout this entire journey with YouTube and all that, Paradox has always been really good to me. And I've been to events, I've been to their offices in Stockholm. They're absolutely brilliant to me, and I love them to bits for that. But City Skylines is like the first game where a company was like, yeah, man, we'll give you the game. Sure, why not? It's not the first time it happened, but it's one of the first times it happened. And that's so strange to me to think that was 5 years ago. It really, really genuinely doesn't. On one hand, it does feel that long ago. On the other, it's like, wow, it was only 5 years ago. I don't know. It's strange. Sorry, I'm not really making a lot of sense here. I'm trying to remember, because when I've been sitting down to record this video, and I've been doing a little couple of checks here on my audio and all that stuff to make sure everything's okay. And I knew I wanted to talk about, City Skylines turning 5, and I got thinking about it, and I was like, oh, what am I actually gonna, what are some of my favorite memories of City Skylines from the last 5 years? And it's hard to think about exactly what that would be, because, I mean, being totally honest, there's quite a few. Genuinely, there are quite a few. So it is quite hard to come up with like one thing that really stands out from the last couple of years. But I mean, we could look at, let's be honest, we could look at the tiered city, for example. The video that I'm sure a lot of you found the channel through. It was at least one of the most viewed City Skylines videos for a really long time. And that's something that I am very proud of. And I'm not bragging, it's just true. And I'm immensely proud of that, because, I'm just some dude that lives in Northern Ireland, that's genuinely the way I just sort of see myself. And I'm not trying to be humble. I just genuinely, I'm like, I just play video games, dude. So having that, as sort of like a little accomplishment, having that moment of being like, man, I had for a while, I don't know if it is anymore. I don't really look at numbers that way. I did for a while, but I had for a while one of the world's most viewed City Skylines videos. That's kind of cool, and that I think is a bit of an accomplishment. I'm quite proud of that. And then I've got a couple of videos that are a little bit like that. I've got a couple of really nicely viewed City Skylines Let's Builds, and to be totally honest, they're quite similar. They're all tiered cities, and it's kind of, I'm a little bit of a one-trick pony in that sense, but I'm still proud of it, because on top of that, I've also got things like a natural disasters video that showcases every disaster, and I only just realized I had these elevated stations in here. Hello? What is this? I genuinely don't know what these are. Oh wow. Okay, hold on a minute. Is this like a? Oh wow. Are these subway networks? What is this? I think they might be. It's kind of hard to tell. I genuinely, I don't know if they're subway or train stations, but they're very cool. Sorry, a little bit distracted there about, I got distracted from my tangent, so I don't know if I should apologize or not. But yeah, there's just, again, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to like, toot my own horn or anything like that. Genuinely, I'm back on the genuinely thing. It's just there's things that this game has done for me and my channel that are incredible, and the support that the community around City Skylines has shown to my channel is incredible. And I owe a lot of my success to the City Skylines community and to Paradox for letting me play the game early sometimes and stuff like that. So it's weird to think that we're 5 years into this, and in typical Paradox fashion, there's no sign of a sequel anytime soon, so we might be on this journey for another couple of years yet. So it's just strange, you know, it is really strange. And I mean, I look at other things as well, and, you know, thanks to the success I've had with this game on YouTube, I've been able to help look after my family, my grandparents that I live with and that raised me, and you know, I've been able to sort of give back in a little way for that. So again, you know, getting a little bit sentimental about City Skylines. You know, it's growing up is what it's doing. It's getting old. They grow up so fast. It's strange. It is, and you know, I'm gonna try and be cohesive, or cohesive. Is that the word I'm looking for? Whatever word I'm looking for. I'm gonna try and stop rambling, because I'm sure it's not the most interesting thing in the world to listen to. But genuinely, I am you know, really grateful for the support around this game. I know a lot of people are, you know, a lot of people watch the channel for City Skylines stuff, and that's fine. That's, you know, that's the reality of YouTube channels by and large. You know, you got a lot of them will kind of have their thing, and in my case, that thing is average at best City Skylines videos. So if that's my shtick, then that's my shtick, and that's fine. So what I'm doing here, to get back on topic a little bit, is I'm trying to get a really nice way, and I say nice with maybe a hint of, you know, hopefulness there, but basically this. And I know that's going to be a nightmare curve, but it's underground, and if you've watched me play City Skylines for a while, you'll know that that means I don't care. So essentially, that's going to be a way for industrial traffic to use this station as a means to get out of the city, which might be a really good thing. I'm also looking at some of this space here and thinking that I could maybe throw in a fire station and throw in a small police station as well. Not that we need them, but having them certainly wouldn't hurt, I don't think. Now let's see, where are you going? I want to follow this train for a second. It's obviously underground, but I want to see if it's dropped some stuff off there and then it's leaving. Okay, so that's fine. So the trains can come in, they can drop stuff off, they can leave. I imagine that's going to create a bit of traffic coming in and out of this area, which is honestly okay by me. Not really too worried about that. I do want to set up that properly though, and I do want to set up this junction so you guys can enter and you guys can enter the junction even when it's full, just so traffic kind of keeps on moving. And my hope with that is obviously, you know, it'll push maybe a bit more traffic into the city from this direction, which is what's causing a lot of this tailback here. But it'll hopefully mean that the industrial traffic coming through this tunnel via this highway might be a little bit less inclined to use this station down here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now let's go ahead and start making some big changes. Let's go ahead and start really changing the look of Dorkchester here. We're losing a bit of money, which is obviously not a good thing. So I'm going to pause while I do this because, again, big changes. We want to go into Move It, and I want to go in and select every building, every prop, every decal, and essentially I'm going to select... Actually, I can do this easier in a way that's not going to cause tremendous amounts of lag. I can go in and I can do this. I can go in and I can do this. And all of that is being dezoned. And our money is about to just bottom out. We are about to kill the Dorkchester economy. But that's fine. We've got $6.5 million. We have a decent bit of demand. And at this point, I am going to go in. I am going to grab the buildings. I might grab the nodes as well, because then I can get rid of the roads too. But essentially, going to go in, going to grab all of this, including that monorail track, and I'm going to delete it. So all of that is gone. And obviously, quite a big change for Dorkchester. Quite a big change indeed, and not the end of the changes, because I need to go in, I need to get rid of this road, I need to get rid of that road, that statue, these roads, and all of this as well. And we are probably going to have to move that monorail station too. And to be totally honest, I'm going to take out bits of this highway as well, so I can actually see what I'm doing here. Because I think I'm also going to chop this area up a little bit, up to about there, which does mean that monorail station's going. So bye-bye to all of that. And I guess bye-bye to probably a lot of our public transport. In fact, you know what? Let's get a little bit crazy here. Let's do all of it. Let's get rid of all of it. So all of that is gone as well, which has given us a completely clean slate to work with here on this side of what was, I guess, the original part of Dorkchester. And the good thing is it gives us a highway connection here that we can actually play with a little bit, because there's a relatively flat bit of land there. So what I could do is I could go in here. I could say, give me some kind of Trumpet Interchange like this one, rotate it around a little bit, raise it up a bit. Obviously, it's ever so slightly out of city limits, which isn't exactly ideal, so we need a smaller one, which is certainly not that one. But there is, that's perfect, smaller, exactly what I was talking about. But some kind of little, you know, itsy-bitsy kind of interchange. These are all huge. What have I done? Like that, maybe? No. Like you? Yeah, oh, so close. I was so close to fitting. Something, you know, that fits in here is potentially going to be more of a challenge than I thought. But perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. You get the idea, right? Some kind of interchange that can go in here. Of course, the default one. The default one actually fits as well. That's ridiculous. I say that, it actually doesn't fit with my road layout, which is kind of frustrating. So I've got that going for me. What did I use there? Is that this one? Is that not, that's seriously so close. Can I not use like anarchy to make that work? No? Really? Do I have to move the whole, I don't want to move the whole highway. That would fit so perfectly right there. Oh, come on. What is, I don't even know what this is. I'm not going to lie. That's very strange looking. I don't think that's going to work either. Okay, let me find an intersection here. I might, wait a minute. What could I might have to go to the Steam Workshop. I genuinely might have to go download like a little mini interchange to get this to actually happen. I could use move, I could place this and use move it, I guess, to make it smaller. But then how would I connect? I don't know. I might have to go to the workshop and download something. We'll see. Okay, so it turns out I did have something that would fit in there. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it does the job and it saves me having to build something myself. Which, if you're curious as to why I don't want to build something myself, I mean, look what I've built here. It's a nightmare for traffic, and it's probably only going to get worse with what I'm building here. So if you're genuinely wondering why I don't want to build my own junction, that's why. Basically, I'm not very good at it. And I don't really see me getting any better anytime soon. So that's kind of what's going on there. So what I do want to go ahead and do is I want to see if I can get some kind of interesting connection going on here. And I'm debating whether or not I want to do highway entrances / exits right in the middle of things, because this might be a really good connection to have. And I guess we're going to just have to build the district, as it were, this whole new area, and then figure all of that out. So let's start right about here, because what I want to do is I want to go in with a, let's see, let's use an actual large sort of avenue here. Let's use a 4-lane. And that is 10 meters down right there, that bit of road. So what I'm thinking is we go and line up with the train tracks. We keep it minus 10 meters. We turn off road guidelines and we do this, right? And we do it the whole way across here as well. And we keep it going out to there, because that actually lines up pretty well with that road, to be totally honest. It does have to raise up a little bit, but what we can do there is put some buildings along this. What's more, we can actually bring this road straight through, so we could go for asymmetrical out to here. Maybe not that kind of asymmetrical. That might be a little bit too crazy right there, but you get the idea. we can go for a little bit of asymmetry. And I think I'm still using the wrong road. I'm honestly not 100% sure what one I am supposed to be using here for this this level of asymmetry. Probably this one. Yep, definitely that one. So essentially that gives us a couple of lanes that can go in a bunch of different directions there. I don't know which one of those is going to be busiest, so we'll kind of leave it as is for the time being. But what we can do then is something similar over this way, and we can go ahead, same road guidelines. We'll bring it up to 0 meters in depth, and it means we can go ahead and actually line it up to this highway right here, and that'll give us roads that nicely, or that'll give us buildings that nicely hug that highway. And I think that's going to be kind of important as well. So the whole way along there, obviously we might have some pillars and stuff in the way. We can totally fix that. But the important thing there is, again, we have, you know, a really nice road that can give us buildings along that highway. And that's kind of what I want. So let me go 10 meters or 10 units out this way, which is roughly there. And let me go 10 units about there. And we'll take out that corner, turn it into a nice curve, and that'll be, I reckon, a pretty good way to connect the two avenues there. So 10 by 10, nice little curve up to ground level again. And then this is quite a hill. I could use straight slopes for that, but then I'd have to use terrain editing to smooth it, and it's probably just going to look kind of silly. So I don't think we are going to do that. But that'll be, I think, a good way to border that entire space. Now, obviously, we are looking at some potential issues here. This right here is going to become a choke point for traffic, which is why I kind of want this road to stay over here. So my thinking would be, we go in, we do something like this, and that gives us a little way to sort of funnel traffic just, you know, out and around there. And keep in mind, we have a one-way system over here right now. And we had that one-way system going around that entire area, so we're looking at a bit of trouble here if I don't figure something out. So this is going to be a process, but that'll be a way to sort of, you know, get over towards the eye and all of this stuff and these bridges without having to go through the center of what is essentially going to be a new section of the city. So hopefully that works. What I am thinking I'll do as well is I will go ahead and bring a, let's see here, let's go for a 6-lane road straight off of here, straight through the middle of everything. And that actually did go with a relatively straight slope, which is kind of interesting. But that gives us, you know, a nice backbone and everything. And it does mean that we still have that main road going through everything, because I don't know if this area here is going to get redesigned anytime soon, but if it does, I'd kind of like to keep that main road going up and down there. It does ever so slightly complicate this intersection though, because I really don't know where it's going to connect to. I'm really not sure. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I don't know about this positioning here. It might not be in a good place, but we'll figure that out. So let's see. Let's go ahead and do, let's go ahead and do this as well. Let's bring this in here. That should probably come up to ground level. I'm not going to lie. That should probably not be sunken still. So let's bring that up to 0 meters right there. And let's just bring it straight through. And again, sort of going to be like the backbone of the area. Brings it very close to those junctions, but I'm hoping for some good stuff there. We'll just go ahead and make that a straight slope as well, so it's not quite as sudden of an incline there. So that'll be kind of interesting. I'm debating. Hello, plane. That's all right. Fair enough. Sure. Okay, fair enough. There's just a plane there. Yeah, this will be a bit of a nightmare area, I'm sure, but we'll figure that out. I'm also thinking probably not a bad idea to go in and get rid of some of our bus lines that are having some trouble around here. So that red line there needs to go. That green line there needs to go. And the black line can go as well. And I think we have some blue buses here as well that could probably go as well. So let's get rid of you. And then obviously the monorail line's still in there, but we're not running the simulation, so that'll be okay. And actually, just thinking about it, we could maybe use this road as a way out of the city. I'm not too sure I want to do this. It might be really busy, but we'll give it a bit of a shot. What's the middle of that going to be? So that is 95. So 45 and 45 would make 90. So 47, 47 would be 94. Let's go with 47, since that's about as close to the middle as we can get. 47, 47, yeah, that would be 94. And I guess we just want to elevate this. So elevated, straight slope. We're going to go up to 10 meters. I think we'll go up to, yeah, we'll go up to 10. That'll be fine. And basically, we're going to give it a bit of a turn here. So it's going to go like this. And then somehow we need to connect it over to the highway. So what kind of curve are we looking at? 9 by, that's 11 there. That should be okay. That is very sudden, isn't it? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit ugly looking. Can we maybe redo that? What are we looking at now? That's going to be... Oh, that's not going in a straight line anymore, is it? So that's 14 by 10. Okay. Not sure about that either. Let's see if I can maybe do something that's going to look a bit better there. So from there, we want to go like that. And that'll maybe flow a little bit better, is my hope. So that's 11. Yeah, 11 by 9. We'll keep that. I think I can make that into a nice straight slope. I'm pretty sure I can make that into a nice straight slope with a little bit of movement. I know there's a tool in here to do that. I just don't know how it works. Is that it? Align slope. Click on 2 objects to define the slope axis to move selected objects up, down to that height. Okay. So from there to there. I don't know how this works. I'm not going to lie. Hold on. So do I need to select you guys and then do this? Like that? What did that do? I think that did it. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm not going to lie. It's a very weird road. So I guess we'll just kind of leave it as it is. I think that needs to be a bit higher. Sure. We'll leave it as is. That's probably okay. So that'll be our way out, right? That's going to be how you get out of this new part of the city. And that's great, right? That's a start. How you get in here is beyond me right now. I have no idea how we're going to do that, but we'll figure it out. Let's just bring a few more roads through for the time being. Let's continue this straight up to there. And let's see. So that does give us a lot of space to work with. Maybe we should just focus on building in the space that we have rather than trying to get, you know, complex around these weird areas. So let's make this. Actually, no, we kind of do need to do the highway first. Okay, let me find somewhere to connect this. Then I want this area to be like, I think an IT cluster. No, this area can be commercial, but we're gonna do a high-rise band because reasons, basically. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, my solution wasn't the most creative, but I'm sure it'll work just fine. It's a solution, is what it is, right? It's a solution. We do have currently a lot of demand for residential. We don't have any demand for offices, which I have zoned in here, and I have turned it into a district. It's just Mill Heights. It's nothing fancy. It is just a road. So let's go ahead and see if we can get some good residential in here. And let's see if we can build it off of this bit of avenue up here so they're not coming off of that bit of avenue. I think that would probably make sense. So let me use, let me see. Let me use this, this road here. Where is it? This one with the trees on it. Single lane, but, you know, quite large and dense. And, let's see if we can build. Well, maybe it could go straight through and then have an old time policy. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I think we will. I think we will connect them, but we'll just have an old time policy so that people aren't gonna drive straight through there, which is kind of what we want to avoid. So let's do this. And then off the sides of that, essentially, we're going to do... I mean, we could just do grids. We could be really boring, which is honestly very tempting. But let's do that to start with, and let's do the same at this end as well. So up to about there. And then right in the middle, we actually do have enough space to lay this out almost perfectly. I am noticing a little bit of a weird break in the zoning in this road, though, so let me just make sure straight slope is on, running to there. The zoning is now fixed, which is good. So maybe we will do sort of boring grids on that side just to really push the density up a little bit. Maybe we do some commercial, just hugging the train tracks there as a bit of a buffer between the tracks, the industry, and what's going to be residential. We'll do the same over here as well. And this bit in here is, I think, just going to be residential. And I want to do a high-rise ban on all of this, because this isn't our city center. This is going to be quite dense. This is going to have some, you know, it's going to have some paths and all that, but it's going to be quite dense. It should be. Our city center is over here, and this is where I really want to focus on super tall buildings. And that's something I want to do more of, is getting proper tall buildings over there. Out this way, I don't think we should have towers like this. I think like this one. I think we should have towers like this one. Ones that are a bit smaller, you know, that's what? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 11 stories versus probably 20 plus. Like 10, 11 story buildings, even smaller if I can get away with it. I don't want to do European out here because this should be, you know, a more modern build, but that's kind of my idea at the very least. Is, you know, smaller buildings out this way. So, we'll come back and put some paths in there in just a second. I want to figure out what this area is going to be on this side. And I reckon what we do is we bring roads out like this, and we bring a road out to about there. And that can, again, be some pretty basic zoning. I don't know how I feel about... you know what? I'm not going to do zoning on the avenue itself. I think that could be commercial, and I think the same can be said over here as well. So that whole bit can be commercial. This one I don't mind too much. Actually, yes I do. Let's stick to my rule. We'll do commercial there, and we'll do some offices in the corner, I think, just to be a little bit different. So just some offices there, and I guess some offices along there as well wouldn't hurt too much. So we'll do something like that, and then this bit's going to have its own road as well. So what we'll do is use this road with the trees on the other side. We can come into there, and then off the sides of it, essentially this. And again, it's not super creative. It is just a bunch of grids, but it's a bit better looking, I think, and it's a bit more interesting. It has a bit more character, to use the old C word there. Has a bit more character than what we had in here before. And that's kind of the whole point of Dorkchester, so that's what we're going to keep doing. So we have all this space to play with. We do have some room for, hopefully, parks and schools and all that, because it is going to be very important, and services as well. Actually, thinking about it, let's give services their own road. Let's give services their own little area here. So this is where we can put some services, because we can go in and we could say, you know, put a, let's see, put a fire station there. We'll throw a police station, let's see, let me actually put the police station there, put the fire station at the end. So fire station there, move that down one. So something like that. It's not great looking, but it is, I think, a pretty good use of the space. Hospital-wise, we'll figure something out for that, because I think this little space in here can honestly be crematoriums. I am going to have to go in, and I am going to have to use good old prop it up, though, because I want to select the crematoriums, and I want to take the trees out of there if I can. So take the tree variants. The bushes can stay, but the trees definitely needed to go. And again, it's just a little bit of a service space, which I think is fair enough. So let's just go ahead and zone it. And I think what we'll do is stick to our usual rule of trying to not put residential on main avenues. Also, that rock needs to go right there. So offices the whole way down there. I think we'll do commercial on this side. I think everything in This space is residential. I think everything here is residential. I think this little bit here could actually be commercial. And then we'll have some fun with some paths, and we'll have some fun making this all proper. But first and foremost, let's make it a district, because we are going to want that old-time policy to stop people going through there when we know they really shouldn't be. So bring it around on the highways. We can obviously tidy that up a little bit, and just, you know, we all know what I could say in response to neat districts and their state of happiness or lack thereof. I have got a new t-shirt design in mind for the neat district, happy district thing. You know, the old a neat district is a happy district thing that we always happen to say. I have got a t-shirt design in mind, and I'm very tempted to try drawing it myself. I do have a drawing tablet, and I you know, if I set my mind to it, I can draw a little bit. I'm not amazing, but I think I could draw something that would look good in a t-shirt. So I might dabble a little bit and see if I can design something, because I have an idea in mind that I think would be really adorable. So, yeah, keep an eye out on, I guess I'll probably mention it on YouTube if I actually go ahead with the design. So just keep an eye out on YouTube, as you already do, I guess. So we've got some zoning in here. We are going to see complaints about power, but hopefully we'll see this build up kind of quickly. I think already this looks a little bit more, just a little bit better than what we had before. We probably could go in and do a little bit of this and just let people kind of give way on that main avenue. I think we could probably do the same here, and we could definitely do the same there. In fact, let's say give way to traffic coming out of there, rather than traffic coming out of there giving way to other people. And I would hazard a guess we could do the same there and there as well. I want to see if we can make that work. I'm also curious to see how this junction ends up playing out, because I imagine it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, but I'm willing to give it some time. I'm willing to see how things play out there, and I'm willing to just hope for the best. Also, in terms of medical, let's do a hospital. Let's do a hospital right there, right in the heart of everything, just so it's nice and close to absolutely everybody. And I guess we should also do some paths, because I did mention that was a thing that I wanted to do. So let's do some paths. Let me see here. Can I get these to line up really nicely? I'm kind of hoping that I can. I want them to snap to the grid like this. So essentially they're snapping right there to there. And then they're going from, let's see here, right there to there. It does get rid of some of the commercial zoning in that road, but that's kind of okay. And I guess we can push through there as well. So that's going to let people walk around. We can technically do the same over here as well, and I think we will. So we'll do that sort of thing. And I think that's kind of cool. We could technically do the same right here as well. So we'll do that sort of thing. I'll put some trees on that just to, you know, let people walk around. And I want to do the same here as well. Now, obviously, there's a pillar there. I'm not really too worried about the pillar, to tell you the truth. So let's just do that. And that'll let people walk from this area of offices over to the residential space, which I think is lovely. Actually, we could totally do the same thing just here, too. So something a bit like that. And something a bit like that. So people can walk through and, you know, get to work if they need to get to work that way. And it'll all be really, really cool is what I think it'll be. So I think this is a good start on redeveloping an area of Dorkchester that really needed redeveloped. I do want to put some special things in here. I do want to make it interesting. Part of me is tempted to say that we could maybe try and fit a stadium in there. But I just don't, I mean, size-wise, we probably could, actually. It's quite a large stadium, but I think we could probably get New Camp in here, or Camp New, whatever it's called. I think we could get, I think we could do that. So maybe that is what we do. I'll tell you what. Leave your suggestions in the comment section for what we could do in here. We could do a stadium. I don't know if that's exactly where I would put it myself, but we'll figure that out. I'm also aware that we do need to reconnect the monorails. That is something I absolutely want to do. I'm thinking we could put monorail stations on this avenue, but it would somehow have to go over the highway here, which I don't think is necessarily going to happen. I'm not going to lie, unless I sink the highway down underneath that road, which might be its own set of problems, but we'll figure it out. I do want to get the monorail back in here. I think the monorail is really important. I think it'll be a really nice addition for the area here. So hopefully that is something we can do, and hopefully a little bit of commercial just builds in here so that we can bridge the gap on power here. Come on. Someone build in there so we can get some power across. There we go. So this whole area has now got power. We do have traffic coming in here, which is lovely. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some good things happen. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless, thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.